Here's one. Yeah, baby.
Welcome to the Polaris FLW studios and our post-tournament highlight show. I'm Travis Moran, joined here today by AFCO Pro and Costa Series angler Matt Pangrack. Matt, you're from Oklahoma, you're familiar with Grand Lake. Why don't you break down this body of water?
Travis, Grand Lake can really be broken down into four main parts. The area above Sailboat Bridge, the Neosho and the Elk River, the area where the anglers are taking out of this week for the FLW Tour stop in Wolf Creek, a lot of release fish in that area. Between Sailboat Bridge and Horse Creek, that's considered the mid-lake region. That features areas like Honey Creek and Shangri-La. Then below Horse Creek is Down Lake. This week, we're gonna see all four of these areas really play.
And with so much water to fish, strategy was a huge importance. So why don't you walk us through the TH Marine roadmap to victory?
Grand Lake has a lot of 3 to 5 pound bass in it, and they're at their fattest during this pre-spawn period of the year. One of the keys is going to be getting a big bite every day. It's a little bit early for these massive bags to be coming in with water in the mid-50s, but a 3 to 5, 6 pounder is going to go a long way to putting yourself at the top of the leaderboard. Along that, you have to execute when you get a big bite. I mentioned Grand is a little bit further behind than it typically is in early April, so landing that big bite gives you that extra 3 or 4 pounds to separate yourself from the rest of the field. And finally, you're going to have to find fresh fish. It's a transition period at Grand, and new fish are constantly moving in and out based on the conditions and the sunshine. If you can locate a group of pre-spawn females that have just moved up into an area and are willing to bite, you can separate yourself in a hurry.
And day 3 started off windy, rainy, and nasty. And despite those gnarly conditions, our field of 30 anglers that survived the cut to make it to day 3 were ready to get out on the water.
You know, after an hour run through all the waves and everything, finally get to my area, and right off the bat, I catch one. What it was is where the bank, it was a transition bank where you had a little bit of sand where it met some rock, and then fish were kind of staged up there waiting to, you know, go up to that sand area and spawn. And, you know, I threw my chatterbait out there and made 2 or 3 cranks and thought I was hung up, and I just pulled it tight and I got him. There we go, number 1. That's the quickest I've caught one all week. Oh. Go. Just a keeper bag, we'll take 5 of them today. Well, I was repeating casts over and over and over to a lot of these isolated pieces of wood, and there's just one log there that just, you know there's a fish on it. You just know there's gotta be one. And it gets that mushy feeling. Nope, never felt the bite, and it wasn't moving, just sat there with it. I pulled it tight and caught that good one.
I've caught all my fish this week on a 1/2 ounce nickel spinnerbait with a 7-foot Phoenix medium heavy rod and a Daiwa reel. I'm just using a 6.2 reel, but I'm reeling it extremely slow. I'm actually keeping it on the bottom. You just really got to reel it slow. Way to get it going. Choked it. Nickel's 1/2 ounce. 3.5.
The first 2 days of the events, we had highs in the 70s, had some sunshine, you know, birds were chirping, everybody was happy. Then we get to day 3. Thunderstorms in the morning, 30-mile-an-hour winds, 40 degrees, just a miserable, cold, windy day on the lake. And, you know, I had to change up a lot of my tactics. I'd been catching fish on a chatterbait, and just something told me pick up a little crankbait and go down the bank, and that's what I did today. I caught half of my fish today on a little crankbait and a couple on a jig.
I've currently got 5 fish. I got one that's just a keeper. I guess it's a pound, so my idea is to hopefully cull that out with a bigger one. I caught them on spinnerbait, slow rolling a spinnerbait. And yeah, I just hope I can get a bigger fish. Ooh. There's one. I'll definitely cut out my other one.
As day 3 started to unfold, it was becoming apparent that the anglers that had made the cut were not going to experience better fishing. With these changing conditions, the fishing was not getting better.
Right off the bat, our day 2 leader, Bailey Boutries, who just turned 20 years old, tried to make a long run to the south end of Grand Lake, and the conditions forced him to turn around and return to Wolf Creek and fish new water. We also saw Bradford Beavers, who was keying on some shallow cover, unable to really hold his boat in place and feel that light shaky head he was using, and he only put one fish in the boat early.
Game plans were changing quick and early on day 3. We'll bring you plenty more highlights from stop number 4 on Grand Lake for the 2019 FLW Tour, presented by Mercury.
The FLW Tour is brought to you by Mercury Marine, Gold Boldly, Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time, Costa Del Mar, see what's out there, Polaris, the world leader in off-road vehicles, Yeti, built for the wild, and by TH Marine, from transom to trolling motor.
Matt, day 3 really came down to that late afternoon bite. A lot of anglers putting together their limits at the very end.
The sun peaked out in the last hour of the day, and that was just what a handful of anglers needed to climb up the leaderboard. Brian Thrift took the lead, but the big move of the day went to Ozark expert Jeremy Lawyer, who didn't have a single fish in the live well at 12:45 and weighed in over 17 pounds to move into second place heading into Sunday.
And what a difference a day makes. As we started the final day with our top 10 anglers ready to go, it was clear skies, calm water, still cold conditions, but these anglers were looking at a different Grand Lake.
They were, Travis, and 9 out of the 10 entered that final day within 10 pounds of the lead on a lake where an 8-pounder was weighed in on day 1, so anything was possible.
Tell you what, I'm excited. This is gonna be a fun day. You know, somebody's gonna win it. I'm excited to be right there in the hunt.
Seems like we've had different weather every day. Yesterday, I feel like I was able to just take advantage of a reaction bite in the wind and was able to catch a couple good ones cranking. And I got on a slick, kind of calmer side of the lake yesterday and caught a couple on a jig. So today is cold, but there's no wind and it's bright and sunny, so that should get these big females kind of up. There we go. Good one to start the day.
My first one is off a steeper cliff, and that was like around 9, 10 o'clock. I said to myself, maybe these fish pulled back to the deeper water, and which I did. And I got a bite right next to the trolling motor on the spinnerbait, and I was just grateful to get a bite. I got you, bro. I'm going on stage. Woo! Eventually, by like the 5th time I went back in the shallows, eventually I got a bite, and then I was excited because I knew that the fish were going to pull up into the shallows where I could, you know, ambush them and catch them.
I've been just throwing around this 3/4 ounce Freedom Lure spinnerbait, and I've been putting some Hildebrandt blades on it, and the red one's custom painted, Fall Creek lures, and just trying to throw things that guys aren't throwing. There's one. Stay on there, big boy. Well, we scored. It's not pretty, but we scored.
The early morning fish catches out of Thrift and Lawyer were exciting, but also suggested that this sun being high up in the sky was really going to heat up the bite on this final day. Don't go anywhere. More highlight recap coverage when we return.
I'm pretty excited to get the day going, but it's nice to have one in the box. At least Abby will know she'll get to go up there and see Chris Jones again.
Matt, on the final day with only 10 anglers left, we started to see a certain pattern emerge among all the anglers.
Pre-spawn on the Ozarks, dock fishing proved to be a very important aspect in this event. The leaders started nosing their boats back towards the back corners of the docks where these fish were positioned between the back of the dock and the rocky bank as they transitioned during that pre-spawn up to spawn.
Now, when you say back of docks, that really proved easier to say than actually do because there was quite a few obstacles there.
You're talking angled cables both above and beneath the water, wood, brush piles, cement pillars, rock piles underneath the water. They were making casts and hooking fish that were very difficult to get out of the water and into the boat.
And to be honest, it's not my favorite way to catch them fishing behind these docks because all the cables and stuff. For years, I've came to these Ozark lakes, so, and the one thing I try to do is avoid docks, and I'm gonna say half of the fish I've caught this week, if that's where they are. Everyone, thank you, Lord. And I guess I'm gonna learn to love these things.
I'm just throwing a 5.5 inch stick bait on a size 1 small little hook with a hand-tied weed guard on it. Green pumpkin, that's all I've thrown all week.
And I got into a pocket that had a lot of fish in it 2 days ago. So I fished through it a little bit and started losing confidence because I hadn't had any bites, and I was on the last piece of structure in the back of the cove. Had a bite, set the hook, it's a 3-pounder. Got it in the boat. Sat down, retied, put the poles back down, threw it back in there, caught a 2.5. 2 casts. So that gave me a lot more confidence that I was right on the verge of just starting to run new water. But when I caught that 3-pounder and then threw it back in and caught another one, that told me that those fish, even with the water falling, were still there and they were starting to feed with the weather being warmer.
Everywhere I was catching a bass, evidently there's no more bass. So we're gonna go just run new water the rest of the day and see what happens. I've only had 2 bites, and only one of them actually ate the bait. I never even touched the other one when I set the hook still, so see what we can get going.
Matt, the one angler that had a breakout tournament was Michael Matee, all the way from South Africa, qualifying through our international division, really getting into some good fish this time.
Yeah, the smooth-talking South African drove to the Mid-Lake area, focused on one main pocket in the back of Horse Creek, and picked up a really interesting bait, a 3/8 ounce spinnerbait with painted blades, 1 chartreuse, 1 white. Committed to that area for the duration of day 4. Started out that morning targeting everything that was in front of him. Docks, rocks, lay down, wood. Did it with a great attitude, and it was hard not to root for the international angler.
It was very apparent that he knows how to fish. He told me the night before that, hey, just put me around fish, I know how to catch them. And he found this area that was loaded, and every day it was just about refining how those fish were positioned, and the final day was no exception.
High five, dude. Okay, 2 more bites, bro. Oh, yeah. Woo.
the spawn, when they start coming in, the big females really come up and set on secondary points. And this lake's got a ton of docks on secondary points, so it gives that fish something to go right to. This particular dock today, it had a big log behind it, you know, and it ran from shallow to deep, and it was behind the dock, under the walkway, behind the cables. So, you know, it was a perfect place on a little gravel bank for a big female to move up, and I rolled up there and throwed that blade underneath the cables and everything. And as soon as I hit the log, you know, it made her react to bite. And, you know, it was just a perfect situation.
But if it wasn't for FLW going to all these countries and giving us a chance, I know it's a 1 in a million chance, but still, like, I'm so grateful I was blessed to give the opportunity to come across to America, because I would have never done that, you know, to get a ticket to fish the coaster, and then look where it's brought me now, you know. It's unbelievable. You know, it's like I'm living a dream, you know. I've got to pinch myself every now and then to wake up. And it all started like just back home, you know, fishing local tournaments. And now I'm fishing with the likes of Brian Thrift.
Yeah. I came in here to make that one cast.
As the final day went on, the pressures really started to mount on Brian Thrift. As each angler finished their limit, that was another angler threatening to win this entire event. More action from Grand Lake and stop number 4, the FLW Tour, when we return.
The FLW Tour is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Lowrance. Find, navigate, dominate. Real Tree Fishing, the official pattern of FLW. Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Evinrude. Learn more on evinrude.com. Triton Boats, the driving force of performance fishing. And by Nitro, performance fishing boats.
Still sticking to the 3/8 spinnerbait. One thing as well is I'm throwing 14-pound line. I don't know in this dirty water if it makes a difference, but yeah. Woo! Yeah! Yeah, baby.
My goal after practice was to go out and try to get as many bites as possible. If I get 5 bites, and get them in a boat, that was a good day. I wasn't trying to weed out small fish and hunt down big ones. I was just trying to go out and get 5 fish. So I don't have any reason to complain. I mean, it turned out to be a really good week. I caught 2 fish in practice, so it's been a really good week. Man.
The area I'm fishing here is the exact opposite of what I've been fishing. That is out of desperation because I haven't had but 1 bite all day. I got to do something to try to get a bite.
Today the conditions are a lot different. It was calm, very sunny. There's not a cloud in the sky. Caught my limit fairly quick. Caught a big one, like a 6.5 pounder, and things were just rolling. Started calling from there. So it was just really key to get some of that sun on those banks where those fish were going to pull up to spawn.
Got her. There you go. Whoa, boy, come off. That's all right. We'll take her. It's nice to have 5, but I feel like I'm really getting ready to have a good chance at a good day. It's a nice one, 3-pounder. Keep them 3-pounders coming.
Come on, baby, stay on, stay on, stay on. Stay on, baby. Yeah! Woo! Upgrade! Yeah!
I'll be leaving in about 2 minutes. I don't want to be late.
I hope I can stay as high as I can in the standings, get good points for the cup, take home a good paycheck. I got no regrets about today. I left it all out here.
Very happy with what I've achieved and how many fish I've caught. So yeah, super stoked, and let's go see what we can weigh in.
Matt, after 4 days of fishing, Grand Lake proved to be a worthy adversary for our anglers.
You put 10 guys on Grand Lake with the pedigree, the history, and the knowledge that they have, though, and there are going to be a number of guys who figure it out, and that was exactly the case on Sunday.
The only thing left was to head over to Chris Jones and find out who was going to be our champion of Grand Lake.
Grove, Oklahoma is the place to be, and the FLW Tour is the thing to see. You guys ready to make some television and get this weigh-in started? From DeBerry, Florida, let's hear it for John Cox. A 5 bass limit. Wow! 18 pounds, 12 ounces, you got the lead. Wow! Centurion GP, South Africa. New leader, Missouri's Jeremy Lawyer. Oh, this is gonna be close. 13 pounds, 14 ounces. Wow! That is it for Brian Thrift. Here we go, we'll make this official. One fish that goes 4 pounds and 6 ounces. Your champion is Missouri's Jeremy Lawyer. Getting it done on Championship Sunday. Wow!
It's just unbelievable, and to do it here and have my friends follow me on a lake that I've got a lot of heart for, you know, gosh, it couldn't be any better.